My name is Ryan, and I was never the favorite in my family. Growing up, my parents always praised my older brother, Lucas, for his achievements. He was the golden child, successful, charming, and the one everyone listened to. Me. I was the quiet one, the dreamer who didn't quite fit in. Our family owned a beautiful coastal villa that had been passed down for generations. Every summer, we gathered there for vacations, barbecues, and long dinners overlooking the ocean. I loved that place. It wasn't just a house, it was part of who I was. But everything changed one summer when I returned home after years of working abroad. I had left the country to start my own business after realizing I'd never earn my family's respect if I stayed under their shadow. It hadn't been easy. I faced failure after failure before things finally turned around. I built a small hospitality company that eventually grew into something much bigger. When I finally came back home, I wanted to surprise everyone. I hadn't told them how well I'd done or that I had become the owner of several boutique resorts across the region. I just wanted to see my family again, to reconnect. The villa looked exactly the same when I arrived. White walls, the sound of waves crashing nearby, and the familiar scent of salt in the air. But when I walked up to the door, my brother opened it and frowned. "What are you doing here?" Lucas asked coldly. I blinked, caught off guard. "What do you mean?" "It's our family villa." He sighed and crossed his arms. "It was, Ryan. But you've been gone for years. You don't contribute to the upkeep, and frankly, Mom and Dad think it's better if you stay elsewhere. We're hosting guests right now, and there isn't any room for you." I laughed, thinking he was joking. "You're kicking me out of my own family home?" "It's not your home anymore," he said simply. "You left, remember?" Those words stung more than I expected. I looked past him and saw my parents standing in the hallway, silent. My mother avoided my gaze. My father gave a weak smile but didn't say anything. In that moment, I understood everything. They had chosen their side. I didn't argue. I didn't shout or beg. I just nodded, turned around, and walked away. As I drove down the hill, I passed the nearby resort, the same one my family always bragged about staying at when the villa was full. Ironically, it was one of the properties owned by my company. I had purchased it a few months earlier under a business alias. The staff there greeted me with smiles, calling me Mr. Carter. That night, as I sat on the resort balcony overlooking the sea, I thought about what had happened. It wasn't anger I felt, it was disappointment. I had come home seeking family, not validation. But their rejection reminded me that sometimes blood ties aren't enough to earn respect. The next morning, I made a decision. The villa my family treasured so much sat on leased coastal land, property that my company had recently been negotiating to acquire for expansion. With a few calls, I finalized the purchase, not out of spite, but because I wanted closure. Weeks later, when I returned to the area, the news had already reached them. Lucas called me in disbelief. "You bought the land the villa sits on? What are you trying to do, Ryan?" I spoke calmly. "I didn't buy it to take anything from you. I bought it because you reminded me of what I'm capable of." He didn't respond. Silence filled the line. A few months later, my company transformed the entire property into part of a luxury resort complex. The old villa remained intact but was renovated as a premium guesthouse. The irony was almost poetic. My family now needed reservations to visit the same place they had once told me I didn't belong. One summer afternoon, I visited the property myself. The ocean breeze felt the same, but everything else had changed. As I walked through the villa's courtyard, the new manager greeted me warmly. "It's good to see you, Mr. Carter. The renovation turned out beautifully." I smiled. Yes, it did. Later that day, my father arrived unexpectedly. He looked older, smaller than I remembered. "Ryan," he said softly, "we didn't realize how wrong we were. You've built something incredible." I nodded, keeping my tone gentle. "It's not about proving anyone wrong, Dad. I just wanted to remind you that I never stopped being part of this family, even when you forgot I was." He lowered his head, and for the first time in years, I saw genuine regret in his eyes. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, I stood on the balcony, the same spot where I had once dreamed of being accepted. The waves crashed softly, and I realized that sometimes life has its own way of balancing things. I hadn't sought revenge. I had simply grown. They kicked me out of the family villa, but in the end, I didn't just buy the land. I bought my peace, my dignity, and the reminder that self-worth doesn't come from anyone else's approval.